Hello, hello, Amber here, and just wanted to do another Facebook Live. I'm really enjoying these because so much happens in my world here every single day that I feel this like surge to share what I know with all of you and just the world in general. And what I mean by there's so much happening all the time in my world, it's really the online world. There are things happening like you would not believe. I really have the unique opportunity to be sort of behind the scenes in a lot of different communities online as a service provider, right? So I'm building websites for different communities, or I have multiple different partnerships with influencers. And I'm always studying trends and data and looking at where things are headed online. And there's just so much unfolding. I mean, you guys have heard me talk about it before with the corporations coming online. You know, in certain industries, webinars are not seeing the same conversion results that they used to, or Facebook ads or summits or what have you. And there's just a lot shifting and unfolding quickly. And that shouldn't come as too much of a surprise to you, because the world as we know it is accelerating, right? You feel it all around you. It's like, oh my God, there's just not enough time in the day. And so anyway, kind of a weird way to start the Facebook Live, I'm sure, but I am just like bursting at the seams to share information with you guys. And it just seems like I can't even keep up with it. Like things are unfolding so quickly, there's not even like enough time to slow down and share it all with you, which is why I'm trying to condition myself to do these Facebook Lives. I want to give an opportunity to share some value to you and then be here to answer questions. And as a reminder, why I'm doing this in the first place is because I want to build a really engaged, interactive, supportive, collaborative community, right? This is not self-serving, okay? Because I have plenty of other things that I could choose to spend my energy and attention on. But I feel like if I could create a community where we are working together to elevate each other all at the same time, like that's an incredible use of time. And in order for that to happen, it's a two-way, energy flow, right? So I will invest in you guys, and then I want you to invest back into this group. And you have done an awesome job of that, commenting, asking questions, daring to make your own posts inside of the Facebook group, really coming from a vulnerable place in many instances that I've seen over the past couple of weeks, where you are sharing that you're having a hard time doing video, you're getting in your own way, you're doubting yourself, right? All of these things. I cannot stress enough how awesome I think that is. When you are able to come from a vulnerable place and share, that is you being a fantastic leader. So many times we think we have to have our shit together, right, before we can be a good leader. And that is false, okay? So wherever you learned that, that is wrong. There is tremendous value in being vulnerable and sharing and being real with others, okay? It doesn't mean that you're a whiner or you're a complainer. It doesn't mean that you are self-loathing and you bring everybody down. It's more about being honest and using that as an opportunity to lift yourself up and lift those around you up, okay? So there's a distinction there. And I want to continue to cultivate a community that is comfortable in being vulnerable and sharing what's really going on, right, as a way of giving us business owners control back. I am so sick and tired and fed up of the current top influencers, not all of them, but the current top influencers who are, just boasting about how great everything is all the time, because that is false. That is inaccurate. It is not a true representation of building a business at any stage. Okay, so when you are constantly putting it in front of people's faces that, oh, once you achieve $1 million in sales, life is great. And buy my program to learn how to do that. That is so wrong. It's unethical, right? Because those people are suffering and having challenges just like you are. They're just different challenges, okay? So I feel like I want to take a stand and have you come along with me so that we can really talk about what's really happening, and then in a positive light, with an effort to inspire ourselves and to hold ourselves accountable and to raise the level of the conversation so that we all win, okay? That said, I want to continue to open up communication, share. You guys are doing great. I think we can even up level a little bit more. But something that I want to talk about first before we dive into the questions, and this really is a Q&A, so I will stay on the line here live as long as we have questions. So please ask any questions that you have into the feed below. If they are related to content marketing, if they are related to the online marketing crisis that's happening right now, like I've noticed it's much harder to get my message out online. And it feels like even when I get it out, people aren't paying attention. That's what I mean by this marketing crisis that's unfolding. We could be talking about sales. We could be talking about video and systems and general building your business online or website conversions. I know that it's hard to know what to ask sometimes, but I truly do know a lot about building a business online in many different industries and areas. And if you ever ask me a question that I don't know the answer to, I'll tell you that. So for example, somebody this morning said, tell me what other channels I can use for paid advertising besides Facebook and Google. Like, what else can I invest in to get my message out? And I said, shoot, I don't know. I don't know. That's my answer, because I don't subscribe to marketing methods where I have to pay to get somebody to pay attention to me. That just never kind of really was something that made sense to me. So Isaac, great question. Thank you for asking about Facebook ads. I will add that to my list here to talk about. Actually, very timely, since I was just sort of ripping on paid advertising, right? And anyway, so if I don't know the answer to something, I will absolutely tell you I don't know the answer to it. But generally speaking, you could ask me pretty much anything, and I would have something of value to share in that topic to help steer you in the right direction. Just because I've spent the past 15 years intimately studying this industry and the evolution of the internet and how people connect and engage and get results online. And I've been testing everything that I hear about, right? So I remember running webinars just for the sake of running them and seeing what happened. And then, ooh, how could I get a 30% conversion or a 50% conversion or a 70% conversion on a webinar, which I have done. So I get excited about the challenge and trying new things. So feel free to ask me questions into the comment box below. Jenny, to answer your question, this is not a public Facebook Live. You are welcome to make a post on your Facebook page saying that there's this incredible Facebook Live happening right now inside of the Leverage to Scale community. You can give them a link to the community, and they can they can hit that like little request button to join our community. And once they are inside of this closed Facebook group, closed just meaning that we want to see who wants to join before we give them access so that we're cultivating the right community. But if they request to join, we approve them, they'll be able to participate in the Facebook Live, or at the very least see the replay. If you are watching the replay and want to ask a question in the comments below, I can always, do another Facebook Live next week. I will be inspired to do that when you ask questions, or I can respond and engage inside of the post itself as well. So all of that said, I want to dive into a very specific topic, and then I'll open it up for questions. And the specific topic that I want to talk about relates to the 2 quotes that I put in our Facebook group earlier this morning. The first is a quote by Helen Keller that says, "One painful duty fulfilled makes the next plainer and easier. So something that feels like a painful task in this moment, well, and if I do that, if I commit to it and get that task done, even though it feels painful in this moment, it should not make the next duty or task plainer and easier, okay? The second quote that I found this morning was by Warren Buffett, and he said, "We don't have to be smarter than the rest. We have to be more disciplined than the rest." Wow, so true, right? People regularly ask me, Amber, how do you do it all, right? How do I do it all? I was asking myself that question. I like that self-reflection, right? I like to kind of go deep and learn how I do what I do, what really moves the needle and makes the difference. Then I like sharing that because I'm working about 30 hours a week in my business, but people think I must be working 80 hours plus a week in my business. They know that I have a toddler at home, little 2-year-old. They know that I am the wife of a firefighter who's gone 3 days and nights a week. They know that I'm highly ambitious, that I'm constantly launching new things or talking about new things, and I'm involved in many, many different groups, and I'm on podcast interviews or whatever it is, right? This isn't a braggy thing. It's just to show the level of amount of things that I have going on and how do I do all of that. And I distilled it down to the word discipline. I am highly disciplined. I wasn't always, okay? So growing up, I was like, my room was a mess. I didn't always get my homework done on time. I would put off chores to the last minute or not do them. Like I was a very different person growing up. But along the way, along my little journey, when I was 16, I hit this massive rock bottom moment in my life, and I will never forget it as long as I live. I let things get pretty dark and ugly in my world of Amber before I hit rock bottom. And in this rock bottom moment, it's a fantastic story. It's a long story, so maybe some other time it'll be more of a personal Facebook Live where I will share my journey as a teenager, because it's a riveting story. I was such a very different person back then. But in this moment, rock bottom, I really faced myself and I thought, is this my life? Like, is this the way it's going to be? Is this who I want to be? And those questions scared the absolute hell out of me. Excuse my language, but it did. And it really shook me to the core, like on a deep soul level. Is this my life? Is this who I'm going to be? And it was pretty intense. And it was in that moment that I started making decisions based on who I wanted to be, not making decisions based on who I was. Okay? Huge distinction. And that was the birth of discipline in my life. Discipline now is common practice for me. It's no different than exercising a muscle, right? So now I'm highly disciplined, almost to a fault maybe, right? And I'm constantly saying, like, is this who I want to be? For example, I'll be in a rush one morning, right? And I will be walking out of my bedroom and I hadn't made my bed. And I'll look back just briefly because I have awareness, right? I'm very present. I have awareness and I'll look back at my bed, my messy bed, and I'll stop for just a second and I'll think, is this who I want to be? And the answer is no, very clearly. Like, I don't want to be a slob. I don't want to leave and knowing that I've just not cleaned up a mess, right? And thinking briefly ahead to what it's going to feel like in the future, right? So at the end of a long day, I can finally go into my bedroom and I walk in and it's a freaking pigsty. How's that going to feel? Versus at the end of a long day, I walk in and my bed is made, my room is clean, and it's so inviting, right? Imagine that feeling for a moment. And so discipline applies to every area of life, whether it is, should I clean up the kitchen? Should I finish this chapter of the book that I committed to? Sending out emails, the way that you're doing certain things. For example, sometimes I'll be sending an email even to my team, and I'll make some like super fast response. And I try to cultivate the habit of just pausing for just a brief second, having that awareness and thinking, is this who I want to be in this response? And if I look at it and I think, wow, that was really short. I didn't even say, hi, Carrie, I hope you're having a good day. Or thank you so much for the way that you show up in our organization and for who you are as a person, right? Now, Carrie may or may not have thought anything of it based on if I was fast and flippant with my response or if I took a moment to actually show up in a better way for her. But it does make a difference, right? She may not know what was missing. If I just sent my fast, can you do this response? She would have been like, okay, and she would have gotten it done with a good attitude because that's who Carrie is. But do you think that it would have made a difference in her day if I had taken a minute to get out of my rushed self or whatever and have awareness that there's another human being on the side of this email that has, you know, a life too, full of exciting things and challenges and this and that, and full of the mindset junk that we all have to deal with, and how I choose to engage with her makes a difference, right? So even being disciplined in a text message or a phone call or anything, people. And I feel like it is that discipline that makes the entire difference in how the world around you unfolds. That discipline is what makes a difference in your community engaging with you, in your marriage or relationship with a significant other, in the way that you feel about yourself. And don't you want to feel good about yourself? And so does it take longer to make the bed in the morning? Yeah. So what's the solution? If I just don't have the time to make my bed or to clean up after myself, BS. We all have the same amount of time in a day. Wake up 5 minutes earlier so that you have enough time to make your bed, right? Or however long it takes you. It takes me like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, right? And that's what's so funny is the things that we let go and we just like let our mess hang out. Like it would have taken 10 seconds to clean it up, and it would have been a game changer in the way that we feel when we come back to that environment. Video is no different. We say, oh, I can't do video, I'm too busy, or this or that or the other thing. Discipline, right? Discipline is even in running this Facebook Live. I got a cold yesterday and I woke up feeling like so tired, you guys. I just felt drained. I felt tired. And yet I went into my mindset and I thought, no, I have a choice in this moment. How do I want to choose to feel today? Who do I want to be? What decisions do I have to make now to be the person that I want to be, that I will look back on and I will be proud of that version of Amber, right? Because I had a choice. What I could have done is said, oh, I don't feel well, and I'm just going to cancel the Facebook Live. They'll understand, right? I could have totally done that. That's not what I did. What I did is I got up and I was disciplined, and I made a decision that I will feel energetic and strong today. I will deliver. I will transfer my enthusiasm to you. I will take this seriously so that you feel like it was a good use of your time. I will show up and answer these questions to the best of my ability, because more important than sitting in bed and licking my wounds, I want to know that I had impact. And the feeling that I get from knowing there was an impact way outweighs any other feeling that I'm going to have, right? So I really just wanted to bring this up today because we're all dealing with a variety of challenges, self-imposed challenges and things that are completely outside of our control, but we do have a choice. And I want to invite you to make decisions based on how you want to feel looking back on your life, right? So not making a decision based on how you feel in this moment, but what decision would I make in order to look back on how Amber showed up today or yesterday over the past 10 years and feel nothing but pride and gratitude for the way that I showed up, right? So I'd love to know what you feel about that. Make a comment below, even if you're listening to the replay, because I come back and I look at these comments and they matter to me, right? And based on how you engage with me and interact with me determines how I'm going to engage and interact with you the next time or as a result of. So I'd love to know what impacted you about this little snippet on discipline and how it's going to shift what you do moving forward, and any questions related to discipline, because I could talk all freaking day about discipline. But I do want to now take this opportunity to move on to your questions. I've seen several come in, which is awesome. Thank you for that. I'm going to start with some of the questions that have been building up in the Facebook group over the past week. The first is, what are your pain points when building your brand? And I just want to make a comment that sometimes questions can be interpreted in different ways. So it's an invitation to be very specific about your question, and I'm not targeting the one that was just asked, but more so when you ask a question, make sure that you're being very specific and clear on it so that I'm interpreting it correctly and giving you the answer that's going to give you the most value. And if I don't answer it based on what you were trying to articulate, then just let me know and I'll answer it in the comments below. What are your pain points when building your brand? Well, there's a lot. And I would say in general, it's all personal and it's all self-inflicted. The pain points when building your brand really comes down to a lot of self-doubt and self-questioning that arises because we doubt our messaging. We want to wait until it's perfect. And we know what's at stake, right? So either our financial landscape is at stake, the way that we feel about ourselves is at stake, wanting to make an impact on our industry or change the world is what's at stake. There's a lot of different things that will be at stake and ultimately leads to why we go out to build a brand to begin with. But the pain and the suffering and getting that message out all is up here. Like 98%. I can't even think of the pain that happens that's not up here. Pain can be coming from, we take a program and course and that influencer has just told us how important it is to have amazing content. It's so important. It's the most important thing, right? And they say that because it validates their program and their price point for that program, right? So of course they're going to tell you it's the most important thing that you could do, right? Now there's probably also truth to that. Okay, so that's cool. But it trips us up to hear something like that. And I use this example specifically because somebody just brought that to my attention. That was a pain point for them in building their brand, is they thought, oh my God, I know I'm supposed to have this amazing content. How do I get amazing content? And they were just, it was holding that person back. Oh, it drives me crazy. I don't want that for you. So my advice to Jackie in this instance yesterday is I said, look, it's not going to be perfect ever. Like ever. It's never going to be perfect, whether we're talking about your content or your logo or your program, your webinar, whatever it is, it will never be perfect. Why? Because perfection doesn't exist, right? And who's to say what's perfect and what's not anyway? Perfect to you? Well, you're probably incredibly hard on yourself. So that's, wow, what are you doing? That's so silly. How you're making yourself feel. Don't do that. Because there are people out here that really need your message and your sincerity. They don't care about your perfection. Probably no more than you care about me being perfect, right? Do you care if I show up perfectly for you? Or is it enough that I'm showing up wanting with every fiber of my being just to make an impact, as much of an impact as I can, right? So perfection doesn't exist. And I feel like if we just approach our content knowing that, knowing that it can always be edited, it can always be improved, and I'm going to be a person that strives to improve it by getting my message out as good as I can without overthinking it or holding myself back timeline-wise. I'm just going to get it out there and see how it lands. I'm going to get feedback. I'm going to try my positioning in a different way and see how that lands. But I'm not going to overdo it, right? At the cost of not getting my stuff out there and not making the impact that I could have made otherwise. So anyway, all of this to say, just try to be a little bit more gentle on yourself. The pain point is definitely coming from those programs that you're taking, and what other people are saying is critically important to your success. I think that the pain also comes from comparison. Oh my gosh, look at what Marie Forleo just did. She just launched her new website. Or, oh my goodness gracious, this person just keeps, look, they must be making tens of millions of dollars. Oh my gosh, this person has, 100,000 Facebook followers. I only have 1,000. God, I suck. Oh my God, this is not working. This isn't working. Right? Oh my gosh, it is awful to live up here sometimes. Like, it is horrible. You have control over that. So I know I'm belaboring the point here on purpose to show you that we create our own pain and suffering. If we could just quiet that for a minute, and you can do that in a lot of different ways. You're going to have to figure out what's the best way for you to quiet your mind. It could be meditation. It could be listening to music. It could be setting a time limit. Like, I'm not going to allow myself to talk badly for the next 5 minutes. Okay, now what can I get done in this 5 minutes while I put my inner critic on hold? Whatever that process is for you, but it's an invitation to have a process to allow yourself, to give yourself the chance to get your message out there and build your brand, right? At least give yourself the chance. Think about, I'm trying to think of an example here. Like, if it were your client that you just, oh man, you just want to see them succeed so badly, or your child, or your best friend, right? You would want them to have every opportunity to achieve their dreams, right? You would give and give and give to them, whatever you could do to them, for them, so that they had the best shot at success in whatever it is that they wanted to do, right? You would want that for others, but yet you don't give yourself that same opportunity. If anything, it's like you just keep chopping down your opportunity at every turn. So enough said. I think that we really get in our own way. That brings up a lot of pain around building the brand, because anything else is fixable, right? So for example, I might have pain if I send out an email to my email list and I don't get a big response from it, right? That could be a little painful, but whatever. Okay, so now I send out another email, I try a different approach, and then it lands, okay? So that is all fixable, and I guess so is your mindset, but this is what's really ruining things for you. We'll move on. How can you shun the things your competitor does that are bad business? This is a question that I might be misinterpreting. So if I am, Sandy, I know you were the one that asked that question, ask it in a different way. My understanding is that you're seeing things happening in your industry that you don't believe in, that you feel is bad practice. So how do you handle that in a way that maybe doesn't make you look like the jerk who's just speaking badly about everybody? And how do you elevate the customer experience and the conversation? How do you bring consciousness to it in a way that is positive as opposed to negative? That's the way I'm interpreting your question about talking about your competitors who are doing things that you don't necessarily believe in. And assuming that that is the right question, I do this, Sandy, in fact, I did it earlier in the Facebook Live, as I've been talking about influencers who, may sell you something to, they may sell you something in a way that just reinforces why you should spend money with them and listen to them, right? That's not an approach that I personally take in my business. I'm not calling out names. I'm trying to be neutral about it. Like, that makes obvious sense that they would monetize that way, even though it's not, you know, the approach that I personally take. So I try to remain neutral. I guess that I try to use that activity or that decision making on the other people, the competitors' side. I use that information and then educate my audience on a different way of doing things or a different way of thinking. So I'm not bad mouthing anybody because I don't like the way that makes me feel about myself, right? That feels dramatic, like drama, gossip, high school stuff, right? That's not who I want to be. But I do have a responsibility to my community to educate them on what's happening in the online world, right? So I might be talking about how there are other influencers out there right now that say all you need is Facebook ads and a webinar to build a really ragingly successful business online. And that might work in some industries. But what I'm seeing in many other industries is that Facebook advertising is not effective anymore. And here's why. So hopefully you can kind of see the distinction there, Sandy, because I don't know that I was articulating it very well when I started this answer. But I think you just take what you're seeing in your industry and then use that to educate your audience in a positive way that elevates the conversation and empowers your audience to change the way that they're thinking or behaving or approaching their, you know, life or experience or business, depending on your industry, and inspiring them to take action in a way that you believe or have proved actually works. So I hope that answers your question. All right, next question is, what have your competitors taught you that could immediately boost your cash flow? This one I really was confused about, Sandy. So what I'm going to do to interpret this question is just maybe sharing some ideas to immediately boost your cash flow. How about that? A couple of ideas that surface on how to immediately boost your cash flow. I think it really depends on your industry. So for my industry, when I look back on things that I have personally done to immediately boost cash flow, I can think of several examples. One is I try to think like, what would be fun for me to do, as opposed to what would make me the most money or what should I be doing. And this reminds me of a question or a conversation that I had with this awesome woman named Christina. And she was saying, like, what should I do in terms of monetizing? And I'm paraphrasing there. And I had said, there's really nothing that you should do in terms of monetizing. Now, when it comes to marketing, totally different story. Every online business owner has to adopt content marketing, right? Because that's the foundation for getting success online. Content is the backbone of the internet. You've heard me say it. The more you publish videos and blog posts and social media posts, the more you will start to cultivate a following organically without having to pay for it, and getting those people back to your website so you can build your email list and monetize, right? So content marketing is pretty much a must for everybody. When it comes to monetizing though, there is no should. It's not like, oh, you should do a group coaching program, or you should have a masterclass, or you should have a membership, right? I think anybody that says that is short-sighted, really, or inexperienced. I think you should do whatever brings you joy when it comes to making money, right? Because if you feel excited and energized and joyful, that's only going to help your results, right? Help your conversion. So when I think back of times where I was trying to playfully imagine how I wanted to monetize, what would give me joy, I remember having this idea, which was very unusual, to hold a local meetup group. And I say it's unusual because I run an online business, and this is clearly an offline activity, right? That I would scrounge up some entrepreneurs in my local area of Denver, and we would go to a location and we would sit down and have a meetup group, right? That is off brand. That is not at all anything related to having an online business, really. But at the time, I was looking for creative ways to monetize, and I knew that, entrepreneurs oftentimes feel like they're isolated on their own island, so why not host a meetup group? Now, this is something that you should be able to implement no matter what your industry is. So if you have, you could have a meetup group around spirituality, you could have a meetup group for moms, you could have one around health and wellness. Pretty much in any industry that I can think of, you could be hosting your own meetup group. What I did is I put up a very simple web page. I called it Rocky Mountain Mastermind. And I went to a friend of mine, Greg Hickman. I was like, Greg, we should do this meetup group. And he said, love it, let's do it. And so what happened was we put up this web page. It was super simple. And we charged $50 a person. And we had like a little a PayPal button on there. It took us no time to set this up. And then Greg and I went to our Facebook friends, and we found all the people that were local in Denver, and we sent them a private message saying, hey, colleague and I, Greg Hickman, we're hosting the first ever Rocky Mountain Mastermind meetup group. Here's a link to the webpage. Just wanted to let you know about it. Would love for you to join us if it's a fit. Seriously, I think the whole thing took us an hour. Greg had heard of this place downtown that for $25, you could rent out this whole conference room space in this sweet building that was like a co-working space. And it had a coffee bar. It had an actual bar that you could get a beer if you wanted to, pool tables, all the stuff. And so we picked a date and time. $25, we rented out this space. We invited people through Facebook to join us. Everybody met in this space, and Greg and I said, welcome. This is a place where, you come and ask us your most burning business question, and then everybody will chime in and give you feedback. So we didn't even have to prepare anything. We had to just show up and host it. So then so-and-so would come in and say, oh, well, my question is around how to market online. And so we'd say, okay, who has feedback for, Susan? And they would all chime in, and we would just host and facilitate. $50 a person. I gave this same idea to a client of mine, AJ. He went out and sold it for more than $1,000 a person, I believe. And it was a huge new profit center for him and his business. Another woman client, Kim, implemented this in her business, in her health and wellness business. I had another client, Kate, implement this in her business. So this would be a fast way to monetize. Now, the structure and format for your meetup, be playful with it. So for Kate, she started each session, she rented out a yoga studio. I think it was free. She made a deal that she could rent out this yoga studio in exchange for the yoga studio just offering like a brochure to everybody that came in, and they had a spokesperson there that spoke for 5 minutes, and Kate got to host the space for free. So you can get creative here. But anyway, Kate came in, and I think she started with opening remarks. They went into a 10-minute meditation. She would invite a guest speaker to come in and talk about a certain topic. Then that would lead into a group discussion, and then they would end with another meditation and a blessing, and that would be her meetup group. So you can decide what the format is, but it's one of the fastest ways to generate income, to create community, and then leverage that offline community to power your online community and results. Within the meetup groups, you could be asking for video testimonials on the spot, and you can put those testimonials on YouTube to then further give social proof to your ability to lead and to have impact and value, right? There's all kinds of benefits, and that's something you guys could do this week to start generating income and community. You could start hosting monthly live Q&A calls, charge $50 a month or $100 a month, whatever price point you want to. Set up a simple web page saying that you have this membership program. It's month to month. People pay you $50 a month to get access to an hour or 90-minute, long call with you. And you're going to go through and give training on a specific topic and then open it up for Q&A. And to be a part of that community, it's $50 a month to month. You could do that so quickly and easily. And you could have other perks of the program, like you'll be the first to know when my book comes out or when new programs come out, or I'll give you special access to blah, blah, blah before anybody else, or I'll give you a t-shirt that's cool that only members get. I mean, like, the people in your community want this stuff from you. And kind of coming back to the first question, like, you're getting in your own way constantly. So if we could just imagine a scenario where you could be more playful in your offerings and do things that create joy for you, and it could be simple, and you could put it out there quickly and easily, and it didn't have to be perfect, and you could just decide when you want to start something or shut something down. If it didn't end up serving you or working out the way you wanted, it's okay. Try the next thing. Get yourself out there. No guts, no glory. So hopefully that gave you some ideas to immediately boost your cash flow. More where that came from. I'll paste a link into the comments area I'll just do it right now while I'm thinking about it. A link to my fast track video playlist there's other ideas inside of that video playlist that specifically talk to easy to implement, fast ways to monetize your business. So just head on over to the fast track playlist and scan the video topics and you'll find them. And that'll give you other ways to immediately boost some income. And the last thing that I'll say, and we'll move on, is that these don't have to be long-term offers that you commit to. You could decide to just host a workshop a month from now, charge $1,000 a person or $500 a person, and just do it as a beta test and see if it lands, if people are excited about it. And if they are, maybe you do another one. Maybe you start doing them once a quarter. Be playful. I think that's the bottom line. Next question, you've mentioned often that consistency is key in marketing. It is. It's the key in life. Think about working out. Think about consistently showing up in your relationship or self-care, consistency in marketing, consistency in sales, wealth building, whatever, you name it. Consistency is key, which circles back to discipline like we spoke about earlier. How long do you go at it without results before you switch gears? When do we leave the dead horse for dead? Such a great question. My response is check in with yourself. You'll know, right? Let's say that I just started my idea of the Meetup group, my local Meetup group. And let's say that my first one didn't go very well. I would check in and I would think, do I believe in this as an option for monetization? Yes. Do I feel like I really gave it everything I've got in terms of telling people about my workshop or Meetup group? Nope, I didn't. I probably only went at it about 40% effort. I could have done more. There's more I could have done to get the word out about my Meetup group. I could have done other things to sell it. Okay. Do you feel like you want another chance to really go all out and see what happens? Yes. Okay, then do it. Alternatively, okay, ran my first Meetup group, didn't go the way I wanted. Do I like the idea of running this Meetup? Meh, I'm indifferent to it. Could I have done more to get the word out? Yes. Would it bring me joy to do this again and see what I'm made of to really go out there and promote it? No. It feels daunting. I don't want to do it. Then don't do it, right? Same thing goes in your marketing. So if you feel like I've been putting out weekly videos for 20 weeks and I feel like I should have gotten better results by now. Okay, so check in. Do I like doing the videos? Oh, I love it. I think it's great. easy, it's fast, it makes sense to me. Am I really doing everything right? Or am I just sort of half-assing it? No, I'm not probably doing it 100%. So do I want to give myself the opportunity to be disciplined and go at it 100%? Yes. And how long do I want to commit to going at it 100% before I revisit this? 6 weeks. Okay, let's go. This might sound a little out there, but truly, you know what's right for you, right? I know very clearly when I am half-assing something or when I have given it my all. There are things I can speak to. Last year was a big opportunity based on this question, where I was just giving it my all for week after week after week. And I was pushing well beyond when people told me to stop. And I was like, no, I've got to prove it. I've got to keep going. And I know this is right. I've got to keep going. And so you just have to listen to that, right? Nobody knows your business or your message or your potential more than you. But I feel like you don't want to shortchange yourself. So if you're not going after something 100%, then you can't gripe about your results, right? You really have to check yourself there. And if you are going at it 100%, then you'll know when it's time to stop. Okay, next question was from Isaac. What's your opinion about Facebook ads right now? So I'm just going to say it, Isaac, that what I was just referring to in that example where I was like, no, I've got to keep going. It was Facebook ads. Because, you know, like you, I had heard for years that Facebook ads is all the rage, right? Like that's where the money is. And I can now look back and I can say that I gave it my all and it did not work for me. But knowing I gave it my all and it didn't work allows me to feel okay about it, as much as you can feel okay about losing a bunch of money. But if I looked back and felt like I could have done it differently, I could have tried harder, I could have done this, I could have done that. You don't want that haunting you, okay? Same thing like in a marriage or a relationship, right? Everybody can relate to that. When is the right time to just call it quits? When you know that you have exhausted all options of trying to make it work, then maybe it's time to call it quits. So with Facebook ads, I did it right. I had done the research. I had educated myself about it. I hired pretty much one of the top 3 Facebook advertising agencies that exist, proven to get tons of results. I crafted the webinar of all webinars. I spent tens of thousands of dollars hiring top conversion experts, like all the stuff. I did it all. I invested tens of thousands of dollars in Facebook ads alone, right? And through all of that, my 6-month journey, I didn't make a single sale as a result of Facebook ads. I don't even know. I can't calculate the loss. I did at some point and it was like, you know, whatever, probably in my journey to get closure with it. Now, why didn't it work? It didn't work for lots of reasons. I mean, Facebook ads is a very finicky network. It's constantly shifting. Facebook experienced a lot of challenges and issues last year. Think about it. Think about it with the security issues that they faced, the government interview. You know, all of these people are pumping money into Facebook ads. A lot of influencers are losing a lot of money. The algorithms are shifting. People's accounts were shutting down without any warning or notice. This is actually how Leverage to Scale was born. It was a big catalyst because I had clients come to me, Isaac, that just said, I took a popular online course that taught me how to build my business with nothing more than a webinar and Facebook ads. However, I'm not getting results with my Facebook ads. My account was just shut down. This happened, that happened. It seems like I'm attracting in the wrong people. It seems like my results are being padded, like I'm getting people from third world countries, even though I'm not paying to get you know, marketing to those people, like all kinds of issues. And these people came to me saying, I need to have a backup plan, Amber, because the stakes are high. I just invested so much money into this program and into these ads, and I did everything that they told me to do. I set up my program, I have my webinar, weeks and weeks and weeks of not monetizing because I was in development. And now I'm at this place where if I don't start making money soon, I'm in real trouble. I hear this story almost daily. It is breaking my heart. And I had one of those like pivotal Hollywood movie moments where I just couldn't stand by and watch as a single other heart-centered entrepreneur gave up, right? And so it was really one of the catalysts for Leverage to Scale. I saw a lot of the trends that were happening online. Things are shifting like crazy at such an accelerated pace that most people don't see it. They do not see, like if I think about the movie Titanic, right? By the time they saw the iceberg, it was already too late. Well, it's like I've had advanced knowledge of this iceberg for a while now, and I know it's coming. And so Leverage to Scale was born as a solution to help people like you get your message out in a more reliable, consistent, and predictable way through content marketing, which has always worked, always. Unlike Facebook ads that work sometimes for some people and not for others, and then it was working for me, but now it's not working for me, and I don't know what happened. But let me spend another $5,000 trying to figure it out. Like, it's pretty crazy what's happening out there. I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't experiment with Facebook ads, but give yourself a quota. And that quota should be like a cap. That cap should be the amount of money that you will make from selling one customer your program, like whatever that is, right? So for me, if I were selling something that was $1,000, then I would take $1,000 and try to invest that into Facebook ads. And if I didn't see results at the end of that $1,000, I would probably move on. If I saw marginal results, then I'd keep going until I knew one way or another more definitively if this was the right solution for me. But what I wouldn't do is just keep spending money hoping that you'll start getting results like you keep hearing other people are getting. Because remember that you don't actually know what's going on behind people's businesses, like behind closed doors. So the people that are saying it's so successful, we don't know for sure if that's real or not, right? We don't really know who to trust. So I think that you can experiment with it. I'm not saying that it's a bad choice. To each their own, right? There are some people that it's working really, really well for them, and I think that's awesome. It didn't work at all for me, I'm sorry to say. But it was actually an incredibly valuable lesson in so many ways. I learned a ton out of that financial loss, a ton. So many wonderful things that has really allowed me to go back to what has always worked in my business and do more of that. And it's no surprise that the shift is evident. So maybe I'll do a Facebook Live sometime about the lessons I learned from, you know, wasting money on Facebook, but that's another time because I know I'm going on and on here. So I don't know if that answers your question, Isaac, but I am absolutely thrilled that you are a member of Leverage to Scale. Isaac has seen some really awesome results as a member of Leverage to Scale, and I want to publicly thank him again for his trust. Because when you decide to invest in something, it's a risk, right? And we hope it works out. And I could know as the creator all day long that this is working for people and that I put all of my best effort into it and more than a decade worth of experience into this solution. And I could know that. But as I tell you, like, I swear it works. Everybody says that, right? So Isaac is an example of somebody who really took the leap and he invested in a platform and he hoped it would work, and it did. And so I'm thrilled to see your results and your success, Isaac, as I am for the other members who are participating in this Facebook Live. I really appreciate you guys. And it is my passion and my mission, and I am extremely disciplined and determined to make this as successful as possible for you every single day. So thank you all. I know that there are other questions. I'm just gonna see, I don't know how to see them though. Oh, here we go. Last couple of questions here. See, I can't see all of the comments. I'm having, oh, here they are. Yeah, it's like it stops. Amber, can you help me somehow? Maybe it's, It's like cutting off and it's not giving me a more option, but I know I saw other questions because I saw Lorelei posted. So Amber, can you just like copy and paste some of the questions as a new comment so that I can see them? For some reason, my browser's not letting me see anything beyond Sandy's comment about stopping comparison hangovers, which is such an awesome comment. Thank you for that. You guys are so great. I hope that the session is valuable for you. And, you know, I'd love to know your feedback as well. If you feel like this is a good use of your time, let me know. And if you feel like I'm going on and on and on, I need to be shorter with my answers or give more personal stories, like I will not take that in a negative light because I'm here for you. I'm not, this isn't for me, this is for you. And so if I can tailor it in a way that serves you better, I want to do that. So let me know. Okay, Lorelei's question. I am creating a free mini course as a lead magnet. It will be done on video. Yeah, good girl. Okay, my email list is tiny, 50 people. And I'm just gonna make a side comment about this because this is a passion point for me. 50 people is tiny in the world where we hear about influencers who have 50,000 person mailing lists or whatever. But 50 people is not nothing either. And Lorelei was not saying it was nothing, but I just want to make a comment for everybody that if you feel like your email list is so small, or my Facebook group is only 100 people, so it's like I'm not going to really put much effort into it. That's ludicrous. Those are 100 people. That's 50 people who have committed to you. They've said, wow, I connect with you. I believe in you, and I want you to tell me more. Tell me more. So don't not engage with those people. I would engage with those people more than ever, right? Because it's out of those 50 people that you will get like super ambassadors who will be on the front line of your army spreading your message to the world, right? So if anything, we need to give to those people as much as possible. Okay, haven't been paying attention to it. I didn't even read that. That's funny. What is your recommendation to promote the lead magnet, please? Great question. So first of all, as soon as the lead magnet is complete, Lorelei, I would definitely recommend that you send a very personal email out to the list of 50 people, letting them know that you have created this video course, or whatever you want to call it, video training. And I would say, and I just want you to have first access to it. I don't take it lightly that you have chosen me to support you through these issues that you're facing, these challenges that you're facing in your life. And I want to show up and deliver as much value as I can to have the greatest impact that I can have as a thank you. And so I have spent quite a lot of time creating this video program for you. And here's what it is and why you're going to benefit from it. So I talk about this, I talk about that. Now imagine if you just implemented this, this is what's possible for you. And wouldn't it feel great if this could be the result, right? So you really, when you are sharing information with somebody, you want to be comprehensive and you want to be specific, right? So you're almost selling them on why they should spend time watching this video of yours, right? Same thing with like a Facebook Live. I have to sell you in a way on why this is a good use of your time, right? I can't just take it for granted that, oh, they should want to show up for my Facebook Live, right? No. So it's not like just because they're part of our email list, they should want to watch my video and I'm just going to say, here's the link and that should be all I need to do, right? You always want to go above and beyond in every communication effort that you can, right? So really tell people like why this is an important use of their time, what they're going to learn, what will be the result, and then here, I want to give this to you, and ask them to engage and give you feedback, because that market research is really going to help you develop future lead magnets or programs or what have you. And if somebody comes in and they say, gosh, Lorelei, that was the best information ever. I loved it. Here was my aha about it. I wish that there was more information on it. Then you might think, I have an opportunity to now create a $297 video training program, and I'm going to do that right now because this person is hot. They would buy it right now, right? That's a good use of my time. So encouraging people to engage with you, sometimes it kind of feels like you're pulling teeth a little bit, but it's conditioning them to respond, to give you feedback, right? It's an important, you can't just expect it. You have to ask for it repeatedly. And then recognize them when they do make an effort and share, right? So there's the whole science behind it. So anyway, it can also give you testimonials, right? So if somebody comes back and says, best free training I've ever watched, I would take that and put that on a landing page so that the public can see I have this lead magnet available. You just have to opt in, give me your email address and tell me where to send this free training. I'll give it to you. And then plug in that testimonial that you got saying it was the best ever. And nothing saying you couldn't have a whole slew of comments related to that lead magnet. So that as you now take this landing page and you're sharing that on a regular basis on social media, trying to build up this list of email subscribers, they're seeing that social proof, and that's going to help your conversion rates. I wish there was a way to share this. What I'll do is I'll put it in the Facebook group as comments. So I've got a couple of landing pages myself, and I'm just going to paste these in to give you a format to consider. Ooh, here's a perfect example. Okay. So lead magnet landing page example. All right. So what I just posted was a link to a landing page that I have up on my website at ngn, or I guess this one's at leverage2scale.com. And it's a 50-minute video training that I did on how to get better website conversion. So not just have a site that looks nice, but actually gets you results. Now on this landing page, you're not going to see my blog and my services page or the Leverage to Scale demo, promo. There's nothing except opt-in. I don't want you distracted. I tried to add in a more personal connection and touch by adding a photo of myself. I had a little graphic made that shows the free offer in a laptop screen so that you get a sense like, oh, it's a video and I watch it on my computer, right? So it kind of gets you into the experience a little bit faster. I'm very transparent about what the deliverable is. It's a 50-minute video training. And then I have a headline, learn the only proven strategies to attract and convert more qualified buyers. But then I also made a mention that you're going to get access to my weekly fast track tip video to scale your business, because I want to make sure that they know they're going to be a part of my newsletter mailing list now. I also have a mention about my privacy policy so that I am GDPR compliant. I think it's important when you have an opt-in box that you add the first name so that you can personalize emails and an email address. And then the bonus is that I have a testimonial on this page. Amber Vilhauer is seriously hands down the best online support, marketing, guru, coach, copywriter ever. It's endless what she does. After years of being online, I finally found the right support who is brilliant and gets me. I'm grateful. Dr. Debbie Silber. So if you can add a testimonial to a landing page, that's social proof, right? It lends to credibility, authority, and it helps with the buying decision. In this case, the buying decision is really just a decision to give you my email address so I can join your email list, right? So that's really what makes up a solid landing page. Now, the design of it can differ. It can vary, right? You've seen probably lots of landing pages in your day. They can all be designed a little bit differently. I can't speak to which one converts better or not because it's something that needs to be tested. In addition to how important that format is for the landing page that I just described, the success page people see after they opt in is also very important. The welcome email people get after opting in is very important. These are all opportunities to further engage, deepen the relationship and the connection, offer people a what's next. Here's what I want you to do next, right? So I know I kind of veered on your question there, Lorelei, but I thought it was a good opportunity to give some training on an area that a lot of people are missing opportunity on. So I feel like once you have this landing page, don't just promote it once on social media. You keep promoting it over and over and over again long term. So a year from now, we will still be using the leverage to scale social media formula to seed in the promotion to get people back to that landing page so that we're building our email list, right? So it's an ongoing thing. And the last thing that I'll say is that in that vein, you want to make a note in your calendar once a quarter to go through every page of your website, all of them. Click all of the links, visit all the landing pages, look at all your service pages, your blog posts, all of it, and look at what needs to be updated. So for example, if 8 months from now you look at your landing page and you think, oh shoot, that's outdated. My bio is outdated in the welcome email, or I need to, that information needs to be updated, immediately pull it down. Don't hold something up online just because you did it at one point and you feel like that lends to credibility or something. Because if a new prospect opts in because they're putting their trust in you and then it's outdated, they're never going to follow you again. They're going to unsubscribe and have this impression of you that's not what you want. So just once a quarter, make a note to go through all of your online presence, even your social media platforms, and make sure everything's up to date and looking good. But otherwise, continue to promote this stuff ongoing, including old blog posts, like all of your stuff. Keep promoting it. And in the Leverage to Scale social media program, that's a part of it. That's a part of our formula so that you're continuing to get equal exposure along everything that you've ever done. So hopefully that was valuable for you and anybody else listening. Isaac says, are VAs part of this community, or is this exclusive to those that bought the Leverage to Scale program? So that's a great question, Isaac. This community is something that's sort of evolving, right? So Amber Peterson got the idea, I'm going to give her the credit, that she wanted to create a community full of members and people who are more prospects or just business owners that are looking to be a part of something special. This particular Facebook group is Leverage to Scale focused, which right now centers around our content marketing training program that teaches VAs how to get your content marketing done for you. We are very soon releasing just the social media platform. So Isaac, as part of the content marketing membership that you have, we are extracting out the social media module and having that be a standalone program for people who just want the social media aspect of it. So you're going to see people coming in through that channel, and then the webinar Leverage to Scale, and then the book launch Leverage to Scale. Those are all things that are coming out. So people will be in discussion about all of these different opportunities ongoing. So it is a place where we can engage about those various products or programs, but also just trends, business problems in general. So it's not like just a sales tool, but that's an inevitable part of the group because that's why people are here. So we definitely want this to be a place where members can engage, pose questions, support each other. with their leverage to scale execution, right, and scaling their business up. But yes, there will be people in the group that aren't members yet, but are looking at it. So that's why when you do share, oh my God, it's the best ever, I love it, I love it, I naturally appreciate that, because there are people looking at investing in leverage to scale that are just not entirely sure of what it is or the value of it or what their results would be. So by you being vocal about that, that can help them make that buying decision so that they are creating a bigger impact in their business and getting their message out to the world in a bigger way by using this as a tool. I have noticed, though, that there are some VAs that have joined the group as well, and they're free to, because essentially it's an open community, right? Now, the virtual assistants that are trained in leverage to scale through you being a member, they have their own exclusive private Facebook group, and that is a very different environment that is focused on recognition, accountability, answering their questions about getting this work done for you, that kind of thing. And I have so many exciting things to implement into that group, because I know that the more love and nurturement and excitement that I pour into that group, those people are just going to get you, the members, better results, which gives me better case studies and allows me to make a bigger impact on the world as more business owners make the choice to join us. So, you know, the VAs will always have a very, very special place in my heart, and they have a daily focus in my organization, because we need to make sure that they have the most up-to-date training, that they're empowered, they have everything that they need to do a great job for you. And, you know, that's already happening, which is really great validation. So it's an open group. That's my I give really long answers. It's in my desire to serve and be thorough, though. All right. Any other questions? Is mastering Facebook ads part of the program? If so, how much should one prepare to invest in the ads? Michelle, Facebook ads are not part of the Leverage to Scale program, because Leverage to Scale is really ultimately designed as a training and support system for your virtual assistant to get work done for you, whether that is content marketing, social media, which is a part of content marketing, you know, launching a webinar for you, or doing a part of your book launch, right? So I guess technically I could create a Facebook ads version of Leverage to Scale, which would teach a virtual assistant how to do your Facebook ads for you, but I'm not going to, because I don't believe in that as a solution for business owners. It's like I mentioned earlier, it's very finicky, it's very unpredictable, it's constantly shifting. It is, it's not something that I want to put my name on because of those reasons. And also I couldn't do it because I didn't get the results that would power that, right? So I'm only going to move forward with something that I know with 10,000% certainty and have the proof to back it up that it has worked, not just for me, but for others that I have employed it for. And the Leverage to Scale content marketing program is just that. So 3 years ago is when I got the idea to create a batch of videos and repurpose them to get my video marketing, search engine optimization, blogging, social media, and email marketing done for me through my team. And then I went out and offered that as a service to several clients, got them results. And then it was in 2018 that I thought, what if I created a training program that would train the average virtual assistant how to do that service on behalf of their clients? So that would be you, Michelle. You would be the client, the business owner, and your virtual assistant would do your content marketing as a result of my training them on what to do and how to do it, right? So that's really what I can confidently move forward with, because I know it works. I know it. There's no question of when a new member comes on, like I have to give Larry a shout out today. Larry is such a fantastic human being. If you look in the Facebook group, I made a comment about like his background a little bit, but wanted to remain a little bit, I didn't want to highlight him too much because of his privacy or whatever, but you know, Larry is our newest member of Leverage to Scale, and I can confidently talk about it with Larry because I know it's going to work for him. Like, there's never a question when I'm talking to somebody, oh, is this going to work? I know it's going to work, right? Because it follows the laws of content marketing, the laws of the internet. So with Facebook ads, it's just so unpredictable. I couldn't even stand behind it. But that said, how much should you be prepared to invest in ads? I would say, you know, the price of whatever it is that you're selling. So if you're selling a group coaching program and it's $10,000 to join your group coaching program, then I would be prepared to invest $10,000 in Facebook ads as my test to see if I can get my ads to work for me within investing that $10,000. And if I can't get it to work, then I should pull the plug on it. Now, I invested way, way, way more than that, and it didn't work for me. So, you know, learn from my experience there. But I think you'll know pretty quickly if it's a platform that's going to work for you or not. That's all I can say. And you want to, if you're going to go down the route of Facebook ads, it is worth hiring somebody who is more of a top tier agency owner who really knows what they're doing, as opposed to just trusting somebody who's like $50 an hour that says they can do it. Because the vast majority of people who say they can do your Facebook ads, they can't. They have no real experience, no results to speak from. Do your due diligence. Make sure that you're asking, have you done Facebook ads for people in my industry? What results have you had? What's the timeline that I should expect? Because I'll tell you, Michelle, when I started doing Facebook ads, all of the agency owners were telling me that I should be prepared to invest in Facebook ads for up to 6 months before I start seeing a return. That's ridiculous. Because with Facebook ads, you have to pay money into the pot every day, right? So like that feels like not a smart investment to me, but who am I, right? So you have to do what feels right for you. I'm not trying to go against Facebook ads. But I guess even though it kind of sounds like I am, but I'm trying to just tell you my experience, what I have seen happening in the marketplace so you can make the best decision for you. At the end of the day, as a business owner, trust your instincts always and go with those, regardless of what me or anybody else is saying. Are there any other questions? I feel like I have answered them all. And I'd love to know any feedback. It's great to see that I've retained all of you who are watching live. That's amazing. We're an hour and 17 minutes in and you are still here. So that must be speaking to either I'm on mute and you stopped paying attention a long time ago, or this is really a valuable use of your time. So if it is, please let me know, because that would really warm my heart. I'm just glad I've been able to keep my energy up. If you were watching earlier in the feed, I developed this cold, so I've been really generating a lot of good energy, and happy to give that to you guys. I think we're about done. So those are all of the questions. I don't have a consistent plan as to scheduling on how often I'm going to be running these Facebook Lives. That's really up to you, right? So the more you engage in the Facebook community, the more questions that you ask, that inspires me to do a Facebook Live like this. I do enjoy doing them. So thank you for participating and being present and giving me such good energy back. That's awesome. Looks like one last question popped up from Michelle. On working with a virtual assistant, should we be billed by project or by hour? My VA is using me as a bottomless bank account. Oh, funny, but not funny at all. That's a great question, Michelle. Each virtual assistant is going to have a different payment structure or like a different approach to it. There are some that are perfectly happy to be billed, paid by the hour. And like what I do is I've asked my team we agree on a set hourly rate, and they invoice me every Friday for the hours that they have worked that week. Now, it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm giving them enough work to get them excited to stick around, right? And it's also my responsibility to make sure that I am focused on giving them activities that bring income back into the company so that I can afford to keep them on board, right? Because I'm not going to be a bottomless bank account for anybody, right? That's not fair to me as the business owner, and that will grind on me and make me resentful over time, perhaps, or it's not the energy that I want in my organization. And so I feel like making sure that my team has ownership of the tasks and projects that they do, that they have the freedom to go out and the flexibility to do what they feel is right for the organization, making sure that I'm open and honest with my team about the sales that are coming in when I need them to focus more so on money-making activities or whatever. Like, I guess my point is that when I onboard a new team member, we're equals, right? We are. That's the way I talk about it to my team inside of my organization, is that I am no better than they are. They are equally as important to bringing income back into this business, to giving me energy and support and encouragement and enthusiasm so that I can rise to the occasion and do a better job for all of us. Like, we all have ownership, we all have responsibility, we all carry our own weight. There's no micromanaging, right? So you own your role and be responsible for it. And if I end up onboarding somebody that's not the case, they're probably not going to stick around in the organization for very long. And I will gently and lovingly, professionally let them move on and find another opportunity. But that's just the culture that I've cultivated here. And my team gives me feedback that they love that. They love that they get ownership, and they love holding themselves accountable. They love being able to contribute ideas that grow our organization, whether it be having a better customer experience or bringing in more income or helping with marketing ideas, like whatever it is. So I'm intentionally answering this question in a lot of different areas to give you my beliefs, because you might feel very clearly like, oh, I could do that more, or oh, I need to revisit this conversation, or oh, I need to listen to my instincts that this person is not a fit for my organization, whatever it is, right? So there are VAs out there that employ more of a retainer agreement. So you have to pay them 20 hours a week or 20 hours a month, whether you use the time or not. I mean, you'll just have to have that conversation with a virtual assistant when you go to hire them, but don't do something that doesn't align with you, right? So if you want to pay somebody hourly and this person who's really great says, sorry, I'm retainer only, if that's not an alignment for you, bless their journey. Sorry, it's not a fit. I'm looking for somebody hourly only. And if that person wants to work with you so badly, then they might pivot to be flexible based on your needs, right? I think that being able to track if a virtual assistant is contributing, like if they are of value to your organization, again, that kind of comes back to you. Because, for example, if you have your virtual assistant working on marketing activities, right? Like my team does. So they're doing my blogging, they're doing my social media, they're getting me booked on podcasts, they're helping me, push more influencer articles out there, getting awards for the company, like that kind of thing. If you are having them focused on those activities, and we do much of this underneath the Leverage to Scale training program, so I totally practice what I preach. I am doing the same marketing activities that our Leverage to Scale members are doing. It's the same, right? So we're all in it together. But if I am having them focused on those activities, Michelle, and underneath the Leverage to Scale program, they're sending me a weekly email tracking my progress. So I get to see every week, oh, we grew our Facebook following. Oh, we have more website visits. Oh, we have more email subscribers. I get to see the proof every single week that the activities they are doing is growing our community. And then this is when the transition occurs where it's my responsibility. They are helping me grow the community, and my responsibility is to come in and nurture that community and educate them about what we do. And as long as I'm attracting in the right people, which I am, because of the whole point of leverage to scale is it's about attracting in the right people into your organization. We don't want 100,000 people. We want 5,000 people that are a freaking awesome, perfect fit for our organization, right? So the marketing activities they're responsible for bring the right people to us, and then it's my responsibility to nurture them and to educate them, and then the rest is up to this customer base, right? If they decide like, wow, love Amber, love her enthusiasm, love her training, I'm gonna buy. That's up to them at that point. My responsibility isn't to sell, and I'm not so narrowly focused on conversion, right? Like so many other people are. I believe in abundance. If I give, if I nurture, then the right people will onboard at the right time. And that's been my philosophy from day one back in 2007. And we've grown consistently, right, with that belief system. So hopefully that, I really like the way I actually just said that. If your VAs are focused on marketing activities, bringing in the right people to you, then you focus on nurturing and educating those people. And then it should be easy for them to make a buying decision when the time is right to play a bigger part of your organization and trade that value, right? They're going to give you money. You're going to give them value. It's an exchange of value. And then you continue the relationship consistently, circling back to what Sandy said earlier, having consistency in marketing. But if I have my virtual assistant focused on things like buying me lunch or walking my dog and getting my mail, like it's harder to measure that value and to feel good about the money that you're paying them, unless you have a strong mindset, right? Because as the business owner, you need to be very clear on the value of your time. So if I focus on money-making activities in my business, and I've calculated that the value of my time is $100 an hour, meaning for every hour I spend focused on my business, I can generate $100 back in the business, and yet I'm paying my virtual assistant $20 an hour to pick up my mail and walk my dog, and that saves me time that I can use to work on the business to make more money, if you're following me, then I'm actually making money by hiring out the things that I shouldn't be doing, and instead allowing me the opportunity to focus on what I should be doing, which is nurturing and educating my audience base so that they feel good about buying from me, right? So you see how that works? So as long as you are focused on understanding the value of your time, you won't feel like it's a bottomless bank account. If they are really freeing you up to focus on the right things in your business, or they are focused on bringing you in the right people that you can nurture and educate so that you can convert. I love that. I feel like I really need to do a whole video about that. So anyway, hope you found that valuable, Michelle, and everybody else that was watching. So grateful. That's how I'm going to end today. I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve. Thank you for sticking with me. 90 minutes. Was not planning on that. This is the best 90 minutes I could have spent doing anything. So thank you for the opportunity. Remember, we started this by talking about discipline. Be disciplined. Who do I want to be? How do I want to look back on how today went for me? Did I make the decisions that I can look back on today and feel proud of myself? And as long as you keep focused on that, you can have anything that you want in this life. That's true. All right, guys, let me know your feedback in the comments below, and we'll catch you later. All right, bye.